they called him a pirate. But his last move was not a battle. It was a trap that waited 300 years to spring. Tonight, we are uncovering the true origin of One-Eyed Willy from the Goonies. Not just a legend, not just a treasure, but the man who lost an eye, lost a kingdom's favor, and then turned an entire mountain into his final weapon. By the end of this story, you will understand why Willy was not just hiding gold. He was building a tomb that could never be escaped. Before he became a skull in the captain's chair, William was a court jester. Not a warrior, not a king, a fool in colorful clothes, telling jokes for the rulers of the Spanish Netherlands. He was born with only one eye, in a world where appearance meant everything. That made him a target, so he covered it with a patch, and the nickname followed him forever. One-Eyed Willy. At court, he told stories that went too far, jokes that made powerful people uncomfortable, pranks that crossed lines no one was supposed to cross. So they did what courts always do to those who speak too freely. They banished him, cast out, humiliated, with nothing left but anger and a sharp mind. And that is when William stopped being a jester and became a pirate. Willy gathered a crew of outcasts and criminals, men with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Together they began raiding ships, stealing gold, jewels, and royal cargo. Not from small traders, from the crown itself. The legend says Willy stole millions worth of treasure from King Charles I of England. Enough to embarrass the throne, enough to make it personal. So the king sent the Royal Navy, not a ship, not two, the entire fleet. This was no longer a chase, it was a war. Willy ran, not out of fear, out of strategy. He led his ship, the Inferno, into a rocky coastline filled with caves, a place where cannons could not aim properly, where ships could not follow. But the Navy fired anyway. Cannonballs slammed into the cliffs, stone shattered, the earth shook, and the sea itself sealed Willy inside the mountain. Trapped in the dark, Willy made a choice. If he was going to die here, then no one would ever take what was his. He ordered the caves to be turned into a nightmare of traps, pressure plates, hidden blades, falling stones, false floors, paths that looked safe but led straight to death. This was not random. This was a mind working like a puzzle box, every step planned, every mistake punished. Then Willy did something even darker. He killed his own crew. Not all of them, only the ones he no longer trusted. He believed greed would turn them into traitors, so he removed the risk. Only a few loyal men were allowed to stay. The rest became part of the cave forever. One man escaped. He took with him a map, a gold doubloon, and a copper medallion. And with that, the legend of One-Eyed Willy was born. Deep inside the cavern, Willy and his last trusted crew reached their final room. A ship, hidden underground. The Inferno, frozen in stone like a ghost waiting for water. Willy sat in his captain's chair, not lying down, not running, sitting, like a king on a throne. That is how they found him 3 centuries later, still facing forward, still guarding his treasure, still watching. Time turned him into bones, but the pose never changed. He did not die trying to escape. He died claiming the space as his own. Fast forward to the 1980s. A group of kids, a legend, a map that should not exist anymore. The Goonies follow the trail of Willy's escapee. They pass every trap, every test, every warning. And finally, they reach the treasure room. There he is, One-Eyed Willy, the skeleton in the chair, the first Goonie. Mikey looks at him and understands something important. This man did not build this place to be found. He built it to be respected. That is why the scale sits in the center, balanced, perfect, untouched. It is not just a trap. It is a message. Take everything, but never take this. Willy's final rule. The Fratellis are not explorers. They are not dreamers. They are greedy. They force the kids to walk the plank. They rush for the gold. They laugh. They celebrate. And then Mama Fratelli touches the scale. The one thing Willy said must never be touched. The mountain answers. Stone cracks. Water bursts through the walls. The cave begins to collapse. The traps are not killing anymore. The cave itself is. And in that moment, something almost mythic happens. The underground river rises. The inferno breaks free. Willy's ship moves again for the first time in centuries. The pirate does not sink, he sails out into the open, back to the sea, carrying his treasure and his legend with him. Willy does not lose his gold. He does not get robbed. He is not conquered. Even in death, he escapes. The navy failed. The cave failed. The thieves failed. Time itself failed to take his prize. One-Eyed Willy planned a goodbye that could only happen once. A final sail. A final laugh at the world that tried to cage him. Willy was not just a pirate. He was a man who went from mockery to legend, from court fool to untouchable ghost. He turned betrayal into strategy, fear into architecture, and his own death into a story that would never stop being told. That is why Mikey calls him the first Goonie, because Willy was the first to believe in something no one else could see. A hidden world, a secret path, a dream buried under stone. And because, in the end, he was never really defeated, he just sailed on. Watch the next video on screen to uncover the dark truth behind another legend that was never meant to be found.